Hey everyone, it's Alex and welcome to Pokemon Pocket. This video is incredibly important for those of you starting your Pokemon Pocket journey for the first time, as when you start the game for the first time and you open that first pack that's offered to you, it's actually deceptively important that you know what that choice means, because they don't tell you this, but that first pack actually determines quite a bit on how you start your journey in Pokemon Pocket. And this video is going to demystify all of that and give you the tools and the information you need to make the choice that's best for you. So right when you start the game here, you're going to be offered 3 packs. You're going to be offered the Charizard pack, the Mewtwo pack, and the Pikachu pack. And at first you're like, well, does it really matter? Well, yes, it does, because the pack that you choose determines what starter deck that you'll get immediately, what EX Pokemon you will unlock, and also what full art card you will get as part of your first Wonder Pick. They make it seem like it's random, but it's not on the first one. You are getting a predetermined card depending on which pack you've chosen. We're going to break that all down right now. Let's start with the Mewtwo pack. If you pick the Mewtwo pack to start, you will be getting the Sandshrew and Sandslash fighting deck. Now, it's pretty good. I think Sandslash is actually a pretty good Pokemon. You also get the Cubone, Hitmonchan, and the others that you've come to know and love, and a whole bunch of colorless in order to kind of round out your offering. Farfetch'd is a great one, by the way. I'm going to do a separate video about like my favorite early Pokemon, but Farfetch'd is such a great one. Yeah, it's a little weak at 60 HP, but for one colorless energy, a little leak slap for 40 damage, hell yeah, I'll take that all day long. And of course you get your Pokeballs and your Professor Researches. Professor Research comes with all of them, and it's actually one of the best supporter cards in the game, so it's very fortunate that they give it to you up front. There's a couple other bangers too, but Professor's Research, a staple in this game. And this is the deck you get if you pick the Mewtwo pack. Now, if you pick the Mewtwo pack as well, you will get the Marowak EX card, which is fantastic, by the way. This card in particular is good because it goes into one of the best budget starter decks. It's not really a starter deck, but a budget early deck that you can build. And yes, it has some RNG to it where like you got to flip coins and you do damage based on the rolls, right? And you can high roll and you can obviously low roll as well. But the card is super cool, and it's also pretty accessible with regards to how that initial deck gets built. And if you're picking the Mewtwo pack, on that first Wonder Pick, you will get this beautiful Bulbasaur full art. It's not the immersive art. We'll talk about those in another video. But you do get this beautiful Bulbasaur, and that is going to round out your selections for the Mewtwo pack. Going into the Charizard pack, believe it or not, you pick a Charizard Fire-type Pokemon. You're like, hey, would I get a Fire-type deck? No. You're getting a Grass-type deck because they just like to throw you curveballs. You got the Parasect, the Execute, and we'll be talking more about Execute in a moment. It's a great starting point for the EX card you're going to get as well, which is honestly one of the best in the game. Once again, you get your Professor's Research, you get the Farfetch Jigglypuff, which is terrible, but hey, there it is. But like, yeah, nothing too exciting here, a little grass type action, but it's this Executor EX and the Charmander. Oh, I love this art so much. The Charmander full art, which is beautiful, but this Executor EX is such a remarkably good card in the early meta of Pokemon Pocket. It is a fantastic card. It's one costed, right? 40 damage for, each time you flip a coin of heads, this attack does 40 more, so you can do up to 80 for one. Are you kidding me? 160 body? It's a single evolution from stage 1. Like, this is fantastic. And honestly, it is a meta definer right now. And so if you're interested in getting a very strong meta card right off the rip, you go with the Charizard pack because the Exeter EX is fantastic. It does edge out the Marowak overall in terms of general power. And honestly, it's a shoe-in in the meta right now. So it's one you want to consider getting if you're interested in being like kind of like meta competitive. Now with the Pikachu pack, which is the one I went with, because I love Growlithe and Arcanine, but that's another conversation here. I might be hinting off to the future of this video here, but you get the Rapidash Fire deck, and it's not bad. It's okay. It's simply fine. Now, this is probably the weakest of the choices, to be honest with you. I think the Marowak EX is going to be better, and that deck overall is just a little bit better. I like the Sandslash deck a lot. I think that's probably one of the best starter decks you can get. This one's not bad. I do think that Centiskorch is actually underappreciated. Sizzlipede and Centiskorch are pretty legit, honestly. The Horsies are kind of sus, whatever. But what I do like, of course, is going to be this Arcanine EX, which comes in as well. It's fantastic. Obviously, you have the Growlithe from the starter deck. It kind of naturally progresses into the Arcanine EX as well. You get this beautiful Squirtle. It's so nice. But ultimately, like, this one here falls a little short from the other two with regards to its actual power. As much as I like Arcanine, one of the challenges with the card is that its HP at 150. There's a lot of things that can kind of one-shot it, especially as you get it into like the more evolved Pokemon that hit harder. It kind of, especially with the damage to itself too, it kind of puts itself in a precarious situation where it doesn't trade favorably into a lot of the top tier Pokemon. So that's what kind of holds it back ever so slightly, but that's a conversation for another day. To give you a brief look as to what these decks upcoming will be, like this is the meta Exeggutor EX deck. Of course, you got the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur combination here. You're not going to have these cards off the top. You don't have two Venusaur EX just sitting in your back pocket unless you drop the big bucks at the start of the game here. Obviously, Execute, and you need two Exeggutor EX to kind of round out this particular meta list. And, you know, you got the Professor Research, the Pokeballs, you have those. You're short a couple of cards here, but I just want to show you like what that deck looks like and why getting that Exeggutor is so valuable. This is one of the top decks in the current meta here, and a lot of healing being generated by Venusaur and of course the Erica as well. And if you're looking for that Marowak Sandslash budget deck, this is kind of what we're talking about here. You got the Cubone, the Marowak here, Sandshrew, Sandslash, very straightforward kind of cards in terms of the Pokemon, and then you have a lot of supporters and item cards to kind of round out the offering. A very good deck, very straightforward, and honestly, Marowak can trade very favorably with the high rolls, but you are flipping coins here, so it can underroll at times too. But I want to give you an indication of like what these decks looked like. So which pack is the best? If you're going for the highest impact early on, it's definitely going to be the Charizard pack. The Exeggutor EX, and obviously that deck as a whole, is just so good. Exeggutor EX is legit a competitor in the meta right now. It is a great card, and that deck kind of naturally builds towards that. It gives you a chance, especially once you start unlocking like the Venusaur and stuff like that, you start to get pieces to what is a very powerful deck in the meta. It's a great starting and launching point. Conversely, let's say you just really don't want Exeggutor EX, and that's fine. You can go Marowak EX. Marowak is still very good, a solid choice for kind of like the budget-friendly deck that's relatively competitive, and we'll talk about that in another video. It's really good. It is solid. I think Exeggutor is better, but this is still a solid choice. The Arcanine Pikachu pack I think is weak. I would pass on this, even though I chose it myself because I'm a Arcanine stan, but I didn't follow my own advice. Do as I say, not as I do, as they like to say. But again, that's another good point, to be honest with you. None of this matters if you don't care. If you're like, you know what, Alex, I'm just going to pick what I want. I want Arcanine, I'm going to pick Arcanine. I want to open a Pikachu pack, I'm going to open a Pikachu pack. Go for it, man. That's the key, right? But if you want to min-max and you really want the best choice to kind of get you off on the right foot at the start, then honestly, the Exeggutor EX pack through Charizard's pack, of course, is going to be the best, followed by Mewtwo, and then the Pikachu is a pass overall in terms of relative meta power. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on that next one.